Buckle up, silver and gold investors. You aren't going to believe the massive stories that we have to talk about today. We are on the road to much, much higher prices for gold and silver. I'm going to provide you with a multitude of examples that are going to indicate to us that we are still very early in it can be a multi-year, possibly decade or longer bull market for both gold and silver and the precious metal mining stocks for that reason. Most important, thank you for being here. Please subscribe to the channel, give the video a thumbs up, turn on the little bell, hit the little bell notifier so you get notified every time we go live. I want you to come back and join us here in the basement. We love to talk about this exciting world of precious metals that we're entering into. And speaking of which, let's get started and let's do it together right now. We're going to go out and take a look at a update chart price. Hold on here. There we go, of the silver price. Can you believe this? We're now looking at the March of 2026 silver futures price. But guys, let's get the crayons out because we got a lot to talk about when we look at this chart. So this is the, hold on here. Here we go. This is the, let me get rid of that. Hold on. Okay, now we're looking at the March of 2026 silver price. And do you believe what we're seeing? $57 per ounce. Look back 1 year ago, we were just above 30s. So those of you who've been priced to $57 per ounce. But there's some very, very interesting things for us to consider right now when we focus in on silver. Number one, everybody out there, everybody, okay, even the new people that have been converted from being sheeple, right? Everybody that owns silver is basically in the green right now. So everybody's feeling good about their investment in silver. The other thing to consider is there's nobody out there because of that is waiting for a certain price to sell. Anyone who said, I'm going to wait till silver hits $34 an ounce, I'm going to wait till silver hits $48 an ounce, they already sold, right? And when we look at that chart that we just looked at, we saw a steady progressive increase in the price of silver over the last year. This is not a spike, okay? Everybody who wanted to sell has sold. I was talking with Jake from Jake's Custom Parts this morning, and we talked about how there was a lot of silver at the coin shops, and that's a small segment of the overall silver market. But nonetheless, on the retail side, anybody who wanted to sell, I think most of them have sold. And now think about the strong base of silver holders that we have right now. And as we sit today, look, there's no guarantees about what's going to happen in the future, but everybody's feeling pretty darn good about their ounces of silver that they own. And even in the overall larger scale institutional investment side, they're feeling good about it too. And to reiterate one more time, so important, right? The reason why we talk about this is because when there's a spike in the price of anything, right? When there's a spike up, there's usually a spike down. But with silver, we did not have a spike over the last year. It was a slow, gradual, with several consolidations that occurred. It's looking good. What about, oh gosh, all right, I got to tell you guys, we got to talk about a lot. We're going to talk about China, the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. We're going to Robert Kiyosaki piped up again, right? The rich dad, poor dad guy. And we're going to talk about an analyst who's pointing out that we could realistically see $350 silver. I think we could see infinity silver. Nonetheless, let's get started with a great piece from Jesse Colombo in the Bubble Report. We're going to talk about the reasons why he's now pointing towards $72 silver. And I think he's saying it's going to happen for us relatively quickly. Are you ready? He says this. Okay. Yes. Okay. Jesse Colombo, one of that Bubble Report, one of the top analysts out there. He's got a Substack. You can subscribe to it. I think he's got a special going on right now. Anyway, silver broke out decisively from, we're going to look at the chart, from its ascending triangle pattern today. That means it's about to surge to $72 fairly quickly. Check out my now unlocked 1120 report in the comments below. You can go back and read that on your own. this is the chart that he's pulling up. And what he's talking about, which is very interesting, and there's something else on this chart that I want to show you, is this, right? The ascending triangle. That means a going upward triangle. And if you look at these two blue lines, right, they form a triangle. And anything that gets compressed within a triangle eventually breaks out either to the downside, but we're going to erase that because we didn't break out to the downside. No, we broke out to the upside. I hope that makes sense to you. As you see, as time goes by, which is on this axis down here, I think that's the x-axis, eventually it's got to break out one way or the other, and we broke out to the upside. Now, something else that's on this chart that most people aren't talking about, but I think is very important. Right? We know there's a 45-year cup and handle, right, that usually breaks out to the upside. One of the most closely followed technical. Well, that looks like something else, but anyway, that's supposed to be a cup and handle. Pardon my drawing there. I'm going to get rid of that real quickly. Okay, what we can see is going back to what, mid-October, about right here, through today, right here, almost December. We got a little miniature cup and handle. See that? There's the cup. There's the handle. And what happened from there, right? We are breaking out. Now, again, guys, nothing is going to go straight up forever. We could get more consolidate. We will get more consolidations. We will get more pullbacks. However, right, everything from a technical chart analysis perspective, as far as I can see it, and as far as what the top analysts are saying, looks very, very positive for silver. Not to mention the fact that the mines aren't keeping up with demand. We know all about that, all the big fundamental factors. The supply of silver isn't keeping up with demand, right? You know that. I know that. The sheeple, they're going to wake up to it real soon. I made you the sheeple several times today. And on top of that, right, the demand is going through the roof, right? We just talked about this the other day. Here's a few examples for you. These new architectural window coatings that reflect sunlight, silver, new solid state batteries for cars that last twice as long as the current electric car batteries, that weigh half as much, that charge twice as fast. I don't know. They don't catch on fire as easy. They got a lot of silver in them. Everything is silver. Everything is silver. Okay. But let's just take this. Get ready. All right. Check your socks. Hold on to your socks, because we're going to knock your socks off with this next one. And don't forget, guys, we are just getting started. We got a lot more to cover here. But here's some price information for silver. Okay. Silver price currently at an all-time high. Make sure we got this. There we go. All right. Now you can see it. 2007. So we're going to adjust the price based on the government's CPI. All right. I'm sorry, $207 per ounce. Okay. If we adjust it to the quote unquote government CPI. But this is where it gets interesting. And this is where I think what really shows, if we choose to value, right, or to price our ounces of silver in US dollars based upon the increase in the M2 money supply, and he's most likely comparing this to the 1980 high. Nonetheless, we would have $668 per ounce silver, and this comes from Gold Silver HQ on X. Now, this is the shocking one. $1,700 silver if we use the real inflation-adjusted number to get this number today. If we used what Shadow Stats or the old CPI calculation, it's incredible, guys. I mean, I know, I understand. I don't know how you feel about this. A lot of people feel like, oh, you talk about $100 silver, you talk about $200, $300 silver. Think back 1 year ago today when silver was what, 34, 35 maybe an ounce tops? And we'd said that we would have predicted that in 1 year we'd be talking about the current silver price, which is $57 per ounce. That would wake a few of those sheeple up. So to think that it can't go much higher, even into the thousands, right? I know, look, every fiat money system ever created, any paper make-believe money system ever created in the history of the world, right? You and me know this has failed. And there have been hundreds, if not thousands of them. Lynette Zhang, right? A favorite in the gold and silver. She's got piles of different paper currencies. Think about Confederate. I was looking up Confederate money on eBay, right? It's worthless except for its collector value, but you can't use it. You can't take Confederate dollars and go to 7-Eleven and buy yourself a box of Twinkies. It just doesn't work. Okay. So to think that the silver price can't go to any number, I think is a huge, huge, huge mistake. All right. We got news out of China. We got news about the CME and Robert Kiyosaki. We're going to get to all that. Before I do that, I want to say thank you to channel sponsor First Mint. They're a silver mint located in Las Vegas, Nevada, in the United States of America. Okay. They get their silver from the company that owns them, First Majestic. Keith Neumeyer. You know Keith Neumeyer. Everybody in silver knows Keith Neumeyer. They mine the silver in Mexico, so it's the freshest silver around, from the mine to the mint, where it's transformed into these incredible products. This one here, right, this is the Year of the Snake round. You can go out to their website, firstmint.com, and check out all their products. I mean, this, I think, in person even looks better than the picture. It's beautiful. So it goes from the mine, freshest silver in town, right? From the mine to the mint, directly to you. It never gets touched by the COMEX or the LBMA. Okay. And it really is a premium experience. You guys have given me unbelievable positive feedback about the purchases you've made from First Mint, which makes me feel even better about First Mint. I love the products I have from First Mint, but to hear that you are having a great, and it is truly a premium experience, first class company, which doesn't surprise us because ultimately it's all headed up by Keith Neumeyer, who's done so much for the silver community. Don't forget free shipping on orders of $2.99 or more. And there's a discount code because you're VIP, right? You're very important. It's VIP RB, Ron's Basement, VIP RB. Thank you, First Mint, for sponsoring Ron's Basement. Let's talk about the Chinese. Are there things going on in the Chinese silver market? Yes, right? The Chinese silver market is the most physical market in the world. But get a load of this breaking news story. This is big, and this is something that we're going to want to pay attention to. Anytime Eric Young speaks, that's King Kong 9888 on X. Everyone listens because he has the inside scoop on what is going on in China, where financial analysts with connections to the Shanghai Gold Exchange and Shanghai Futures Exchange, CTAs, which are the commodity trading advisors, have confirmed my report earlier from unnamed Chinese source. He's giving us a lot more detail. The video is dubbed in English. We're going to watch a little bit of the video, but this is what Eric had said earlier. Oh, hold on here. Okay. He said, and I just got news from China that the Shanghai Futures Exchange, someone closed a huge short position, almost 3 to 4% above the silver futures Friday closing price. They know what's coming. Now let's listen to what this Chinese man has to say. See if I can get him to speak for us. It's about a minute long, but this may be worth listening to the entire thing. Here we go.
Now we lack physical silver with no inventory left to replenish.
We lack physical silver with no inventory left to replenish.
Last night, two other things are worth noting. One was the Huyin 2512 contract, where at 1:53 a.m., a huge 156-lot short covering trade occurred. Transaction took place at 13789, a 9.9% increase. The amount of information here is enormous. Time-wise, last night was the first trading day for the Huyin 2512 contract delivery month. In terms of trading direction, short that previously opened short positions either didn't have or didn't want physical delivery, so they were forced to close out. In terms of trading volume, 156 lots was yesterday's largest single trade, equivalent to 2.34 tons of silver. In terms of price, 1.2789 was an instant 9.9% gain, while yesterday's close was only 5.07%. You could say this was a bull's fat finger error, but is it possible the long side is willing to buy up short positions at such a high price, accepting all comers? This signal is very clear. Is this a short squeeze?
Ooh, now we lack squeeze. Okay, so that's from China. What about in the United States? Huh? What about at the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, the CME, the futures market? Oh, the COMEX. Are they experiencing some issues? This is very, very interesting and very, very scary for them or for people who are trading on that platform, because we get this news, and this comes from Honza Cerny, the COMEX silver shock. Okay. 12.5 million ounces leave registered in one day. I'm going to explain to you what registered means. This is on the paper market. This is on the futures market, right? This is on the COMEX, where they're trading Fantasy Island silver, right? The plane. Look, boss, there's the silver. If you remember Fantasy Island from the 1980s. The latest CME report from November 26, 2025 revealed one of the most significant single-day moves in recent COMEX silver history. It's getting crazy. Over 12.5 million ounces, or 8.3% of all registered silver, were removed from the inventory category that backs the futures contract. Remember, okay, well, let me go further. To understand the scale, registered inventory is the pool of metal available for futures delivery. This is the fraction of the paper market that's backed. This is the real silver. It's just a fraction of the paper market, and it's getting drained. When ounces are transferred to eligible, they no longer support the paper market. They become private property off limits for contract settlement. So the registered inventory, guys, is going way, 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 way down. But remember this, it was already just a fraction. So the registered inventory is this little fraction that supports all the paper futures contracts. And that little registered inventory just got littler. Unfortunately, okay, now the way to think about this, the best analogy I've ever come up with, you can help me out. Hopefully, let me know if this makes sense to you. But if you think about it like Walmart, and Walmart's got their big distribution center, and let's say they have 10,000 boxes of Twinkies at the distribution center. But on all their individual store websites, when you combine them all, they show that they have, I don't know, instead of 10, they only have 10,000 at their warehouse, but at all their individual stores, when you combine them all together, they show they have, I don't know, 1 million Twinkies available, right? Because they know not everybody's going to buy those and want those Twinkies at once. Okay. But if there was a Twinkie mania that broke out, wanted all those Twinkies, Walmart would have to say, sorry, guys, we don't actually have them. We don't actually have all those Twinkies that we said we did at all our stores. And that's exactly what is going on. Well, close anyway to what's going on with the CME, with the registered inventory. The registered inventory is the amount of metal that can be used to settle those contracts like we looked at earlier. Right now, if you go to CNBC, you're looking at the March 2026 silver contract. But it's a small fraction, that registered inventory, of the actual number of contracts that are written. What's it? I mean, it's levered up. I hear all kinds of numbers, but at least by 100, I'm confident in saying, correct me if I'm wrong. So the fact that that little registered inventory is shrinking, there's big things going on between the paper market and the physical market, and the physical market is winning. We just heard from China. Now we just heard what's going on at the CME. And what did Robert, do you want to get rich in silver? Let's listen to what Robert Kiyosaki said. We'll do that next, but I do want to say thank you. Look, I'm able to do these live streams. We don't charge anything. All I ever ask of you is that you subscribe to the channel, give the video a thumbs up, all that great stuff. So thank you for doing that. And thank you for being down here. But we also have sponsors. First Mining Gold is a company, a stock that I owned long before. I owned it before they sponsored my channel. They're a gold development stage company in Canada. They have two huge multi-million ounce development stage gold projects in Canada, Springpole in Ontario, Duparquet in Quebec. You can learn more about them at firstmininggold.com. What I find very interesting, right? The gold's in the ground. They're going through the development stage, but it's big gold deposits in the ground in Canada. To me, when I own the stock, it's like owning gold that's in the safest place in the world, buried in the ground. And on top of that, the big mining companies, the big producing mining companies, are going to be looking to replenish their pipelines. right? Every time a big miner mines an ounce of gold out of the ground, they gotta think about the future in new projects. And Canada is a very favorable jurisdiction. And these big miners are also going to be looking to grow because now they're basically, the big mining companies are printing money. So you can learn more about First Mining Gold at firstmininggold.com. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor. Always do your own research. And thank you, First Mining Gold, for the sponsorship. Robert Kiyosaki, do you want to get rich? This is Rich Dad, Poor Dad. He's a rich man. So we'll listen to what he says. Do you like Robert Kiyosaki? But listen to what he's telling us about silver right now. He said the Japan carry trade is dead. Yeah, we've been hearing a lot about that lately. That was the fact that Japan had basically 0% interest rates forever. It is sending some quakes through the market. He said, watch out below. Bubble markets about to deflate. In yellow, standing by my mantra, buy gold, silver, Bitcoin, and Ethereum. More recommendations on how to get rich while the world collapses will follow in future tweets. Yes, you can get richer while the world gets poorer. And when we talk about the prospects for silver in particular, and what it can do, especially relative to gold. And we're going to look at that. That's the other thing. We're going to look at don't worry, we're still going to talk about $350 silver. Maybe we can get rich. Like, I never really thought about getting rich off silver, but we hear stories, good pieces of evidence from history. In history, it's not going to repeat itself exactly, but history does have a history. History has a history of repeating itself or rhyming at minimum, right? And back during previous times in history, people were buying houses with 100 ounces of silver. Look, I'm not, don't make any financial decisions based on what a guy in St. Louis is saying. But that's not out of the question in the future. There are some people out there. I've heard Rafi Farber, we've talked about this in the past as well, that we could get to a point, right, where you could buy a house. I mean, heck, if I could buy another house for 1,000 ounces of silver, I'd be happy scrappy. I'd have a room for you. We'd have dual basements. Anyway, more big news. We are going to talk about the 300. Gosh, we got a lot more to talk about. Okay, let's talk about silver, bro. This. Hold on to your. Wait a minute. It's a sock alert. Hold on to your socks because your socks are about ready to get knocked off. Let's go over here. Look at this. And this is all, as far as I know, based on fact, okay? In 1980, you remember 1980? I was 10 years old. I was more interested in BMX bikes, and I used to love to watch Fantasy Island. De plane. Little did I know that we'd be in an environment of Fantasy Island silver pricing with the COMEX and the LBMA, but I digress because in 1980, the Dow was at $850, okay? $850. And the price of silver was 50. Okay, now fast forward. Today, the Dow is at 47,716. Silver would have to hit $2,806 to reach the same ratio of 17 to 1. Let me highlight that for you in blue, okay? $2,800 silver. If we just went back to the ratio, which is a historical fact of what we had in 1980, right? When it was what did he say? 17? Yeah, 17 to 1. That is absolutely crazy. In 1980, a house was about $55,000. Today, a house is $450,000. Silver would have to reach 409 using that ratio, right, to reach the same ratio of, okay, right? So, guys, these are the facts. Again, when we talk about incredible silver prices, this is not out of the question. What's next? We got so much more. The gold to silver ratio. This is big news. Breaking news. I should have started the show with this. Wow, we got 1,300 people here. This is incredible. You know what that means, guys? This is a record number of people on Iran's Basement live stream, and I've been doing these for 4 years. That means more people. Well, it means I don't think I've gotten better looking, and I certainly haven't gotten funnier or smarter, But nonetheless, what it does mean, what you mean being here right now, is that we've got record numbers of people starting to pay attention to precious metals. Uh-oh, I just knocked the sign over. Hold on a second. Oh, no, they're going to get mad at me. I knocked my sponsor sign. Don't forget to check out First Mint. I got a wooden parrot holding it up. Oh, boy. You never know what's going to happen on a live stream. Nonetheless, we've got a record number of people in silver. More people are coming to the silver lifeboat. Wait a minute. I just thought about something. We might have some sheep converts, new people, the sheeple. We call them the sheeple in a very nice way. It's not putting anybody down, but most people don't know about gold and silver. The fact that we've got 1,300 of you on here right now, a record for Ron's Basement, that represents the fact that the world is waking up to silver. The world's waking up. Now, breaking news. Sorry, I went on there. I do appreciate you being here down here in the basement with me. It's a cold, dark, lonely place without you. Breaking news. Okay, this is massive. We're going to look at two pieces of information because we are breaking out on a very, very important chart. This is from our friend Rashad Hajijev. I really love what he puts out. It says the gold to silver ratios, 14-year support, officially and legitimately broken. Okay, so those of you who don't know, let me look at you real quick. Then we're going to look at this from two different perspectives, one of which tells us about $350 silver. I know you like the sound of that, but for those of you who may be new, the gold to silver ratio measures how many ounces of this beautiful metal, silver, you need to get 1 ounce of gold. It had gotten as high as 100 as of late, but it's breaking down. The lower that ratio goes, the lower it goes. That means relatively, comparatively speaking, the higher the silver price is with gold. But gold's not going down. Gold's going up, but the ratio is going down in this, right? When we look at this chart, shows it very clearly. But on the next piece that I'm going to show you is there's some shocking, interesting information. But there we go, breaking down. Okay, let's just go to the next piece because I love this. And this comes from our friend Oren. Look, I'd highly recommend you follow him, Oren Elbaz, the Silver Hermit. He also has the Silver Hermit YouTube channel. I think he's right now is one of the big up and coming and also I think underrated analysts. Very smart guy, very good guy. I've talked to him several times over the years, but it says it's not every day. Okay, this is his post. This is great. It's not every day that you see a trend line that held for almost 15 years break down. And remember, the lower the gold to silver ratio goes, the better that is for silver. And we love gold too. And we're rooting for gold to keep going higher because that drags this even higher and higher as the ratio comes down. The gold to silver ratio, which was stubbornly high in recent years, finally broke down. In my view, this means that the rally in precious metals has only just begun, because that's another reason why we're paying attention to this. During big precious metals rallies, the gold to silver ratio will be going down. But the crazy thing is in red, okay? Subtracting the amplitude of this monstrous pennant that started in 2020. So what he's talking about is that, right? The pennant formation that you can see on that chart below, the blue lines, which is roughly 66 from the breakdown level of 78, gives us a target of 12. That's 12. Okay, that's right, 12. That's what he said too. Like in ancient times, guys, the gold to silver ratio at times throughout history has been 12, and I think even lower. Okay, when silver circulated as money, when silver circulated as money and was properly appreciated by the public, with gold trading right now at 4,218 an ounce, such a ratio today would give us a price of silver of over, I underestimated, over $350 per ounce. But of course, by the time the ratio reaches such a value, the price of gold itself will be much higher. And so there's no telling how high the price of silver may go. Let's look at his chart here. All right. And he put the old celebrating emoji on there. And again, like we looked at from Rashad earlier, this is the breakdown. Okay. This bottom line, the x-axis is time. Okay. This is the ratio. But the lower this ratio goes, that means the lower the number of ounces of silver you need to get yourself 1 ounce of gold. Hey, it's almost the holidays. Well, it is the holidays officially, right? The old gold bear there's got his Santa hat on. Please don't forget about this. I think it's a great gift idea. This is the new Dirty Man Safe. They're calling it the crypto edition. Some people call it the micro edition, but I've worked with Dirty Man Safe for a long time. Don't forget behind me, right? You see that right there? It says Ron 10. You can get a 10% discount on a Dirty Man Safe. They got a number of different sizes. This is actually their small size, okay? This one here is the micro or the crypto edition. I'm going to show you that, but here's the smaller side. Don't forget Ron 10, or there's a link in the description of the video. But this is their newest product. I think it's like $120, $130, but you'll get a 10% discount. You dig a hole, okay? Let me pull the safe out. You put this sleeve down in the hole in your yard. This is what the pirates did to protect their treasure from flood, fire, everything under the sun. Maybe you have a safe. Maybe you have a safety deposit box. Maybe you hide valuable things in your wall. I don't know, empty soda cans, whatever. But the pirates have proven that burying things in the ground works very well also. This is, again, their smallest one. I love little things. And you open up the bottom of it. These are so cool. You put your valuable in there. Here we go. Hold on. Oh, look what I have in this one. Look, just as an example, this 5 ounce silver bar fit in there very nicely from channel sponsor First Mint. What do you know? Huh? Anyhow, super robust product. I'm always super impressed with the quality of the Dirty Man Saves when I order them. You screw this on. It's like airtight, watertight. Remember, this is underground. So imagine we're underground right now. You drop this down in there. Everything about this is quality and first class. You got a handle there. You put this cap on top. Don't forget, we're underground right now. And then you fill in some earth on top of it. And very critical that you remember where you hit it, okay? And then whatever, I mean, you could put keys in there. You could probably put about, I don't know, I would imagine $100,000 worth of gold if you wanted to. Nonetheless, none of my business. Don't tell me or anyone if you get a Dirty Man Safe and where you hide it. But it's a cool product and could be a great gift idea for a stacker you may know and love. Hey, I know and love you. Thank you for being here. We're in for some great times with the precious metals. Okay, enjoy the rest of your weekend. Thanks to all of you. Really, seriously, it's so much fun to be down here. It's a great community of people in the metals. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you, hold on, yes, you, next time. Thank you. Don't forget to subscribe. Bye-bye.